Hey guys, it's Kip from Famous by Friday Pickleball. Got 3 new paddles to review. The new paddles from Diadem, the Diadem Warrior BluCore. Excited about these paddles. This is Diadem's first entry into the foam core market. They're doing something a little bit different. Everybody's trying something a little bit different to make foam a little more controllable and just more structurally sound, not so much chaos. Diadem is using a EPP foam. It's an expanded polypropylene. It's blue. You can see it through the end of the paddles here. And it's kind of a denser foam that should give this a little more structure, a little more control, and less chaos. I'm excited to try these out. These paddles come in 3 different flavors, the standard 16.8 and the extended, just the normal extended version. I'm going to go with the Pro version, the 16.4 by 7.4, 5.7 inch long grip, perfect for two-handers with a 4 and an 8 circumference. This paddle comes in at 3 different thicknesses, the 14, 16, and 19. All of them have the BluCore, the expanded polypropylene core. However, the 19 millimeter does have a layer of Kevlar honeycomb, kind of sandwiched in the middle, gives it a little structure, but also does add a little bit of weight. That should give this, just the 19 millimeter, just plenty of accuracy and really keep it under control. These paddles do come in at different weights, however, and you'd expect that with a denser foam. The 19 millimeter comes in at 8.9 ounces. That's pretty hefty with a 123 swing weight. Anything over 120s, I like it, but that's a little on the heavy side. The 16 millimeter version, pretty much a little more standard, 8.3 ounces, 118 swing weight. And the 14 millimeter comes in just at 8 ounces, feels really nice with a 110 swing weight. So this would probably benefit from maybe a little weight and a little more customizable. Excited to try these paddles out. The cores are quite different. I like what Diadem's trying. Let's take a look at the cores before I head out to the court, and then we'll all head out there together, hopefully. All right, let's take a look at these cores. All right, guys, here is the core of the Diadem Warrior BluCore series. Pretty standard looking. It's got the EVA foam around the perimeter here that allows the core of the paddle to kind of flex a little bit, move a little bit, and gives it some support around the edges. This is the blue EPP foam core. Pretty standard, goes all the way down into the neck and through the grip of the paddle. So that gives it structure and gives it some support. Pretty standard, nothing too exciting here, but let's take a look at the 19 millimeter. That is kind of different. All right, guys, here is the Kevlar honeycomb that's sandwiched in between the EPP foam core, the BluCore. This is only in the 19 millimeter version that gives it some structure and gives it some kind of support. I think this is a great idea. I like the idea of putting some structure in these paddles. Let me show you a different view here. The 19 millimeter Diadem Warrior BluCore, this is just as it is lying on the surface of the court. You can see that the BluCore has a little more density than the standard EVA foam. This EPP foam has a little more density, a little more structure, probably a little more substance, and it does weigh a little bit more, but it should be nice and playable and really hang in there over time. In fact, Diadem has a lifetime warranty on the core, and that's because of this EPP foam that really should hang in there. The 19 millimeter is the only one of the group that has the Kevlar honeycomb core here in the middle to give it more structure. It also adds a little bit of weight, but it gives it more structure and should make this paddle really perform well. I'm excited about the 19 millimeter. All right, guys, there's the cores. All right, guys, I hope this is gonna work. Got them all gripped up, ready to go. Headed out to the courts right now. Hope you're gonna be there. We'll hit these paddles together, the new Diadem Warrior BluCore paddles. All right, I'll be back. All right, guys, this is the Diadem Warrior BluCore. This is a 16 millimeter version. Try this. Oh, it's right there. It's right there. It's there. Do that again. Kind of the same spot. Yeah, I tried to over. Boy, that has nice topspin hop to it when it gets there. Do that again. Go after your target. Oh, went right over it. So with all the foam core paddles, it takes a moment. Let me do that. There it is. Oh, I hit that all the way. Some people playing on the other side. It went almost all the way over them. Oh, that one did have a little bite. That one did. That one had a little hop at the end. Let me do that again. That had nice bite too. All right, guys. This is the Diadem. This is the BluCore Warrior. This is the 19 millimeter. Let's see what this will do. Wow, easy depth. Nice little click to this paddle too, by the way. That's really nice. That's really nice. You expect, once again, it's a 19 millimeter paddle. You expect more control out of that. Oh yeah, this has really nice control. Let me spin a couple with this. This is gold. This gives you really confidence as well to just go after your targets. See the spin on this? Nice spin. Nice whistle to it. Let me do that again. One that has a nice click to it. When you hit it dead red, I hope that picks up in the microphone. That has this just click. Ah, that reminds me of the old, what was that? Pro Drive paddles that had a click when you hit it in the middle. Do that again. Yeah, there it is. Nice click. Not a tremendous amount of spin though. You expect that out of the foam core paddles. Not a tremendous amount of spin, but that spin was pretty good. All right, guys, back. Just spent the last few weeks getting to know the new Diadem Warrior BluCore paddles. I went into this review kind of thinking I was going to like the 19 millimeter quite a bit. And I thought, oh, the 16 is going to be good. Oh, what about the 14? The 14 is going to, I kept bouncing back and forth between all these paddles because all these paddles do something fairly well and maybe a couple things not as well as maybe some other paddles. I'm going to bounce through all the performance characteristics here, and I always start with power, so I'm going to start with power again. My normal service speed is right around 50 miles per hour. All these paddles were over 50. The winner in that group is the 14 millimeter. You would expect that. Then just flies through the air, jumps on it, goes 52.8. The 16 millimeter, fine, 52 miles per hour. The 19 millimeter, it's got all that mass, all that plow through, 51.4. All those are good numbers. All those are fine. Service speeds were good. Velo was good. Worked out really well. Where foam core paddles seem to struggle is in accuracy, control, and consistency. Now, some paddles they put some structure in there and they've really come to life in the accuracy and control and consistency area. Think of Rhombus, think of Flick. They've done a great job with putting some structure in there and getting some accuracy and control and consistency. The one that won out because of the Kevlar middle, the Kevlar sandwich, if you will, was the 19 millimeter. It had pretty good accuracy, control, and consistency. The thinner you got, the more that struggled and the more chaos there was. You just think of foam core paddles, that's what they do. All these paddles had pretty nice spin, but not great spin. If you're a spin enthusiast, I would say none of the foam core paddles really have this great biting spin, this late just, where it just digs in and goes. The foam paddles haven't really come up to that level yet. Some of them have nice spin, but just not tremendous spin. And all three had nice spin. All had great feedback and feel. What was cool, especially about the 19 millimeter, is it had this click. When you hit it dead red, it actually clicked. It had this just really audible just click. And you knew you'd hit it really well. I think I said in the video that goes back to the Pro Drive that really did that it really had this beautiful little click. The Diadem 19 millimeter really has that. The others have it to a certain extent, but not quite as loud as this bad boy right here. They're good defense to offense. Once again, the 19 kind of won out there. Go down, dig a little trash. That ball's going to go back. And once again, the 19 starts out at 8.9 ounces. That's pretty heavy. So you can go down and dig trash pretty well. Once you get up to the non-volley zone, the 14 and 16 were a lot better up there because you can move them through the air a lot quicker and you can jump on the ball and knock the ball back pretty well. But the 19 wasn't bad at all once you got used to the weight. The 19 is not as customizable because of that weight. The 14 kind of wins out in that area. And you can really, it would benefit from just a little bounce up. I think the swing weight on the thin paddle, the 14 millimeter was 110, and the 19 millimeter was like 123. That's a big difference, and I think you could bounce that up a little bit on the thinner paddle. It's going to be, the performance is going to be there. None of these paddles are really, they're not the magic stick. Now, you can play with them all, and I kind of bounce back and forth which one I really found that I like the most. Honestly, so the 19 millimeter seemed to do all the things I wanted to do. It's just a little bit heavy, but it really does, it spins pretty well. Accuracy control and consistency are there. Power numbers are good too. It really, I can control it so much more. The 14 is probably the most fun to play with because it's got a little of that chaos built in. And the 16 has a little of both. You'd expect that. No big surprise there. The 16's got a little bit of the chaos and a little bit of the, you can kind of control it and do the things you like. The 16's a lot more approachable than the 14 and the 19. First, the weight is there. You can customize it if you want. It does everything just well. It just, kind of hangs out there in the middle. Supposed to. That's the way it's supposed to be. I think the 16 will be the most popular paddle of the three just because of that. It does everything pretty well. But if you weight up the 14, it can do things well too. And if you got used to the 19, it does things really well as well. I'd be really happy to hear if you guys have tried this, if anybody has, picked out one of these and gone with it, which one you picked out. Maybe you tried the standard version or another version. I'd like to hear that. See what you like the best. If I have one other soft complaint here about these paddles, Diadem. You don't have to call every paddle you've got either the Icon or the Warrior. We could come up with a new name, right? I mean, call it something. Call it BluCore. That's kind of cool. It seems like every paddle they come out with is either the Icon, and the original Icon was super cool, or the Diadem Warrior. Come out with a different name, it'd be okay. And that's just a personal thing. It's just come out with something different. It may distinguish it from other paddles of your past. These paddles are also $279.99 US. That's kind of on the pricier side as well, especially of the foam core paddles. But there's always a but. They do have a lifetime core warranty, so that is very cool. These paddles aren't going to break down. The EPP foam is not going to break down over time. So that's a cool thing. They got that going for them. All right, guys, as always, hit like, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. Get out and play. Summer's here. It is so hot. It's been so hot. The courts are pretty free in the afternoon if you have a chance. There's nobody else there. All right, guys, get out and play. I'll be back with more content really soon.
Animal!